politics as usual.
Today in American politics, we are going to discuss the controversy around TikTok, gentlemen. Yeah, there's a lot going on with TikTok. Is TikTok's time up in America?
TikTok time.
Is President Trump going to ban the platform? And are black people being shadow banned on TikTok? Are they being silenced on the platform? But let's first talk about what's going on with TikTok, man, in the Trump administration. Have you guys heard about this? What's happening here with this platform? Much, yeah. Okay. I don't know if y'all are on TikTok. You know, obviously TikTok is a big hit around my house because I got a teenager in the crib and a spouse, and both of them are like hamming it up on TikTok on a regular basis. So I hear a lot of TikTok stuff. And then obviously recently in the news, Trump, what's his name? Trumpito, he threatened, to ban TikTok outright. Do you guys understand why, though?
Yeah, I mean, once I saw what happened at the rally that he had in Oklahoma and the way they kind of
juiced him out of all this big,
the way that they went about that, and the kind of underlying fact even with that was that there was a lot of influence outside of the U.S. even with them doing that because of the function in which they ran it through, because it's a whole different channel with TikTok that we don't even see on our side. I kind of figured he was serious about it when that happened because they really pulled one over on him with that. So I knew it was coming.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why, so the Trump administration wants to ban TikTok, but there are a lot of organizations that have disallowed their employees from using TikTok. Wells Fargo, even the Joe Biden campaign is not allowing their staffers to use TikTok because it is owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. Okay, so I don't know how much y'all know about this, but it's really interesting because there are a lot of differences between the U.S. and China. We talk about these big terms like communism and capitalism, right? But China has laws that the Chinese Communist Party has put into place that allows them access to any Chinese company's data and information. And so under the cybersecurity law, the Chinese government has the right to obtain any personal information from any entity within their purview, essentially, right? So they can if they deem it that it has an impact on Chinese national security, the Chinese government can access that data. So that's really what the U.S. is concerned about: is will this company take all of the data they're gathering from Americans' activities, behaviors, and to be able to learn from them to be able to push propaganda or to access information about American citizens. Do y'all think that that's a credible threat, or do you think it's just kind of like hot air?
No, I think it's real. Yeah. He gave him until September 15th. An American company, he said, to buy TikTok or he's going to ban it.
Microsoft, actually.
Microsoft,
yeah. He's gonna ban it. But here's the thing, though, like he can't really outright ban it, though, right? So it's really difficult because we're not the Communist Party of China. Like this is a capitalist society, right? So removing TikTok from the Apple and Google smartphone app stores, he'd be able to prevent downloads, but it wouldn't affect the millions of users using TikTok in the U.S. One alternative would be to block communication between TikTok servers and U.S. users at the network level. Okay, so this is the same method that Chinese government uses to block popular platforms like Facebook and Google. Because in China, you cannot use Facebook and Google. In China, they are not having any of it, and they call it their Great Firewall of internet censorship, right? So people that are against the Trump administration doing this are saying you're just employing, similar tactics as China to push out, right? And even the Chinese government, I would say one of their news, we call it a tabloid, but one of their quote unquote news sources, who knows if it's being ran, but it's a state ran newspaper. But the Global Times in China accused the United States of killing China's most competitive companies by threatening to ban TikTok, which is owned by Chinese company ByteDance, out of cowardice because it sees it as a threat to other American technology companies. Okay, so now that's interesting, right? Because there's always a bit of truth, like my boy 700 says in certain things, right? When you look at it, we even talk about this. even the shadow banning, right? And we'll talk about that here in a second with black content creators. Right. When you look at who owns all of the most popular platforms, Facebook owns Instagram, right? Okay, and also Facebook owns WhatsApp. Yep. TikTok has now kind of penetrated the American market. So TikTok was actually called Musical.ly before. Did you know that?
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes.
I remember that.
You remember Musical.ly? Yes. It was called Musical.ly before, and they rebranded it to TikTok.
Okay.
Before, it was just taking, musician, people that create music and doing little sound bites of music, and then it kind of morphed into this TikTok, right? To like little snippets and bits of content, right? And you have all these people that are creating all kinds of revenue, and there's offices here. There's a U.S. wing of ByteDance here in the States, and so Trump is giving them, I guess, like you said, Clark, until September, I think, in order to broker some kind of sale to Microsoft in order to keep TikTok in the States. If not, the administration is going to formally, if you will, ban it and disallow it from being available in the app stores going forward.
That's crazy. So are they gonna, if they do happen to buy it, are they gonna repackage it to something else just to make it the U.S. version of it, or is it gonna?
No, I think really what it's about is the data, right? Yeah. Because again, according to that cybersecurity law, the Chinese government understands that foreign companies and individuals will be reluctant to simply turn over their information to the Chinese government when asked. Yeah, for that reason, the Chinese Cybersecurity Bureau does not plan to politely make a formal request. So they want to be able to just take the information. So what Trump administration is saying is that if an American company owns it, then they're under American laws.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can't just use the information. The Chinese government can no longer access that information. But I think that it's interesting because when you have companies like Wells Fargo in a Democratic campaign, the Biden campaign, saying that they are disallowing TikTok, and I know there's a lot of people that think that Biden is just like a closet Republican, but that is significant, man. I don't think it's something to take lightly. I think that there's, let's be real, man. The U.S. and China are enemies. Right. Yeah, I know that black people, we can sit here kind of, and decide what side we want to take on the issue, but it is a real fact that the U.S. and China are enemies for real.
Yeah, I ain't choosing neither. I find it kind of ironic that, good old Trump has an issue with, these type of things, especially with all his collusion claims and all that. Man, so you cool with the Russians and them invading our elections, but you worried about TikTok. It's like, all right, it's cool. I see you pick your wars. I got it.
Okay, now listen. Now, it's not only government entities, because India also has banned TikTok. To be honest, the whole country of India has banned TikTok, and that's
just get rid of it.
Okay, so and they're on the border. They're like, that's their neighbor. Okay, so that again, that says something. But in the States, black content creators are also very, very upset with TikTok, and this is now a few months, standing now feud, saying that their content is being suppressed, and a number of creators. And this is from an op-ed that I got in the New York Times or Time Magazine. They spoke to these creators and they said that they've experienced noticeable declines in viewership and engagements on their videos after posting content in support of Black Lives Matter movement, or noticed recent instances where they felt the TikTok's community guidelines weren't being fairly applied to black creators. Okay, and you see in this same article that I read, you see them putting kind of side to side. For example, there was a reference to a creator, a black content creator who had, I don't know, upwards of 800 or 100,000 followers. And she was averaging hundreds of thousands of views on her content. As soon as she started posting Black Lives Matter content, it was like no one was seeing her content. Her followers weren't even seeing it in their feeds at all. Okay. And when asked to address the claims of sourcing the story, one of the people that works at TikTok, the director of the creator community of TikTok of US, they told the Times that unequivocally they don't engage in shadow banning, okay, which is an umbrella term under which these types of discrimination claims often fall. So I think that the shadow banning thing is not just, though, unique to TikTok. There's been a lot of, even 50 Cent claimed IG was shadow banning him. I believe it. Okay, and what do y'all think about black content creators, though, being suppressed on TikTok's platform? I mean, and be real about it.
Oh man, it's just another one of those ways, boy, where if they want to silence you or keep you hidden or keep you in the closet. They'll find a way to do it no matter where we go. No matter where we go, they do the same thing on Facebook. The same principles apply. If certain individuals are allowed to say certain things to you, but if you retort and say something back of the same nature, you can get put in what they call Facebook jail. It applies. I've seen them say crazy stuff to black Instagram people, jail, but the minute you say something back, they'll throw you right in there. So it just falls in line with the rest of that, man. That's kind of disturbing, considering the amount of African American creators that use TikTok, that platform in general. So it's kind of disturbing, but I don't deal with it at all. Like my daughter's into it, but I'm not really into it.
It goes deeper. Have y'all heard of alt black TikTok?
No.
Okay.
Say it again.
Alt black
TikTok.
So there's a whole other aspect of TikTok that those that want to consume black TikTok creators have coined it alt black TikTok. Okay.
Like black Twitter?
Yeah, essentially, right? Because they can't get any recognition on the platform, right? So do you remember the Renegade dance that was super popular?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was popularized by white content creators, apparently, right? And Charlie D'Amelio is a super popular young, girl. I think she's probably about 19 years old, maybe, or something like that, around that. I'm not sure. I don't follow her content. But she's a part of this dance company or content company called Hype House. And it's been rumored that Hype House actually has like content scouts, they say, or content thieves that go through TikTok looking for popular trends and then snatching them up and then using them, put them on their platforms, and they'll get millions of views and they're monetizing. I mean, these kids are rich, man. Charlie D'Amelio is super famous now. I think on her IG I looked and she's got like 28 million followers. Whereas the young lady who created the Renegade dance, Jalea Harmon, got no recognition until people actually spoke out and said, hey, she did not create that dance. But the Charlie D'Amelio and the other chick that I forgot, two other chicks that she's with, they were on like Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Performing this dance that this young lady created, man. And so what the black content creators saying, exactly, right? So it's about the algorithm, right, that suppresses certain types of content. But then there's also just a cultural thing where we see it again, where there's, culture vultures, if you will. I know that name probably is very controversial, but we have controversials all across, black artistic expression. And now it seems to have seeped its way into the TikTok platform.
I just wonder will there ever be a time. I know we had Black Planet, that was very interesting and kind of upsetting that went away because just imagine what that could have been with the advancement in technology. And if it would have got to a level of like Facebook, you see what I'm saying? Even at the lowest end. So I just always wonder, will there ever be a time where we have something like that for us to where it's not even tied in with anything else? But the problem is a lot of us won't follow it because it's made by us, so we're so skeptical before we get into anything. But I just wonder, one of these days we're gonna have to get to that point because this type of shit is gonna continue to happen no matter where we go.
Exactly, like that you say that and that is a critique amongst our people. It's like we wait till something pops to be on it.
Right.
It's like, no, man, we got to stop doing that. I mean, we've tried. I mean, Revolt TV is dope. Revolt TV is much better than MTV and VH1.
Oh yeah, it kills both of them.
It kills
as far as
the
the content, the individuals they have working on those sets and the shows that they curate. Yeah, I agree.
But I see zero black people talking about Revolt TV, and that is a shame.
I remember I posted it one day. I was talking about it. I posted it on Facebook, and people was asking me like, "Hey, what channel is that? Like, what channel is that on AT&T?" I'm like, "Y'all ain't never seen this? Like, the only black channel that's really out there still for us? Like, come on, man."
And they still play music videos.
Right, they do.
Right,
they do. They are still
which
big
I appreciate.
upping. Absolutely, man. And Tidal kind of messed themselves because they kind of priced themselves out of the game. I feel like they're, now again though, they're pricing those that are consuming the content so they can pay the creators.
Because they do produce a lot of content other than just music. So I give them that.
So but how do you get people to go to that platform? At the end of the day, we only make up 14% of the nation. So you're going to have the allies. You're going to have the allies get on board, or else it's going to just kind of dwindle away unless we just blanket support things, which, I don't know, man. I'm skeptical. I have hope that we as a black people can begin to support things and be on board with things,
come together
at the inception of something, at the launch of something, and not waiting till the news big ups it. But this is a big issue, man. And there was one quote that I got from one of the content creators, a 20-year-old TikToker from Indianapolis, Chinyelu Mwafrika.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. Okay. See, I got to make sure I make the African names right. Yeah. But he said when someone says something and they have a clear pattern of behavior that shows that something else might be the case, then you can't ignore it. Okay. And TikTok as an app is not friendly to black creators, whether that's because of the way that it's programmed or because of the way that users interact and engage with content. It's not an app that you see a lot of black creators getting hugely successful on. And that's what he said. And I think I have to agree with it, man. But, as a people within a nation, these are issues that we need to continue to raise, and the only way that we're going to solve it is if we collectively solve these issues in dialogue and discussion like this. So if you have something to say on the matter, leave your comments. Yes, let us know what your thoughts are. We would love to hear your perspective on TikTok in general as a platform, and content creators of African origin that are being quote unquote shadow banned, or their content's being throttled.
It's all over.
Can I get a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do y'all feel about the content that y'all put on y'all social media pages? Speaking of TikTok, like, do you like to put a bunch of pictures of your kids and your wives and your mothers and your aunts and stuff like that, just pretty much showing everybody everything? Or do y'all?
I've segregated it. So my Facebook is kind of personal to me. So like my personal Facebook page, I'll put that kind of stuff up because I got relatives and family that ain't seen my family in however long. So that's cool for that. Instagram is strictly business. Like I don't post nothing on there that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm out here pushing, period. Like so, not even personal birthday parties. I don't do none of that. So I try to keep it that way for that reason. Even on the business page on my Facebook, I don't put anything personal on there either.
Yeah.
Like I just try to keep those. I've had situations and I try to keep them separate now.
Situations have arisen.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Bubba?
I mean, for me, as you know, I don't really like social media.
Right.
I use it, for the purpose of business, like my brother says. And occasionally I will go on there and feel, the desire to post something personal in nature. Yeah. But it's not something that I'm looking to do, as a kind of like a first thought. Right. It's kind of an afterthought for me personally, because I just don't find that it edifies me. Yeah. I don't find the types of connections that I'm looking for to be on Facebook. Every now and then you can have a good conversation. Instagram back in the Gap when it first came out was really, really dope from my perspective, because of the fact that it was for the purpose of artistic expression. Yes. Okay, visually creative expression, and IG was actually made for people that were visionary or photograph enthusiasts, right? It was giving them filters and different types of functions to be able to take professional type photography without being a professional photographer with a professional camera, right? So that's what IG started as. Right. But then IG obviously morphed into something else when it was acquired by Facebook. Right. And whether or not, you can say what you want,
the initial form of Instagram was probably my favorite social media. I mean, I was real big on the early phases of Twitter as well, but I would probably say Instagram was probably more. It was more so what I was into. Like after a while, I get tired of whatever you got to say in 140 characters. We can move along. Man. You know what I mean? Like I get tired of seeing. Sometimes I just want to see things through the premise of another person's eyes. So Instagram caught me with that at first, but then like you said, after the Facebook thing, it was like whatever. It's the same shit.
Should it be a limit to what you can put on there? Like, well, this is a personal question for me because I hate seeing people 5 minutes posting a picture of them, another 2 minutes posting a picture of their sister, 3 minutes they posted a picture of what they ate. It's another 5 minutes. It's like every 2 minutes you posting a picture of something that you didn't ate, and then it'd be the skimpiest meals. It's like a 1 chicken tender and like 4 pieces of corn and a piece of broccoli, like dinner serve, or bagel before the night, like bullshit. Like I think you should be able to post one relevant picture like an hour and be
It
done
also
with
depends
it.
on who your audience is.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I'm
does.
saying?
It does, and it also, like use the tools that they give you. If you see content you don't like, just go to it, click on it, and say,
I'm an advocate for the unfollow button.
Unfollow. I've been
Yeah,
doing that a lot
everybody's
too,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna unfriend you." Like, no, don't unfriend them. You don't have to. Just unfollow or say, "I don't like this content,"
Yeah.
Right.
and then the algorithm retrains it and it starts showing you other people's stuff. So you can utilize that. Absolutely. And so, but like I said, lastly, I'll say it's just as Black people, for us, where is our place in the creation of content platforms for creators, right? And how can we create unique environments where we can create content? You mentioned Black Planet, and I think that's good. At some point in time, we're going to have to figure out this whole creative content space and figure out how to have more ownership. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's imperative that we do. Otherwise, we're going to continue to be silenced by individuals who could care less about the messages that we push, regardless of how we form it or shape it, or whether we put it in 60-second format or we give it to you in 3 minutes on Facebook, or whether it's Vine, or what I'm saying. We've always kind of gotten to the top of these different platforms, and they find a way to chop us down. So, like you say, I definitely want to invite everybody to join the conversation with this. Tell us what you think about it. I'm sure you all have seen these things as well. We definitely want to hear what you got to say.